What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journos, Comics, and Pop Culture, and today I'm going to be discussing variant comics in a way that I feel hasn't been addressed or touched on before. Before we get into the video, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please take the time to do so. Check out all the awesome links below. But I gotta give a big shout out to A1 Comics as well, because as always, on every Wednesday, it is A1 Wednesday. A1 Comics information is below. You guys, if you're not following them on Instagram, go give them a follow on Instagram. They have live Instagram sales every Wednesday and Friday starting at 5 p.m. Pacific. That's 8 p.m. Eastern. Their live sales are absolutely off the hook. So look, after you watch this video, if it's not 5 p.m. Pacific time yet, go ahead over there and check them out. They're also live on Twitch every Thursday, but they're linked to their websites below as well, a-1comics.com. They ship all over the U.S., so you do not have to be local to Sacramento. But if you are in the Sacramento area, you can check out any one of their 3 locations: Sacramento, Roseville, or Folsom. Big shout out to A1 Comics. I'll probably be headed up there this weekend myself. So, all right, now let's talk about variant comic books. There is a love-hate relationship, I feel, with variant comics in the industry. Obviously, variants are a huge thing, and there's many people that love them, but there are almost what seems to be just as many people that hate them, or maybe they're just louder. I don't know, but there's a lot of folks out there. Personally, I'm not huge on variants. I've talked about this a lot, but the one thing I want to address today is what variants are to the market, all right, or to the hobby as a whole, because there is popular belief that variants are a detriment to the hobby. Variants somehow are ruining the hobby, or somehow are this negative thorn in the side of the hobby. And I'm here to tell you that that is absolutely 100% not true. Now, the biggest thing I hear is with Marvel specifically, you know, going crazy with 20, 30, sometimes even 40 variants of a new book, right? Now, this is where I hear a lot of folks saying, oh, you know, I'm tired, I'm burnt out of the books and all these variants. And I always say, well, look, you don't have to buy them, just buy cover A, just buy the one that you like. But I'm going to address something and touch on something that I feel has never touched on, and I'm going to use an example. I'm going to use an example of name brand products. And I'm going to tell you why I feel that variant comic books are essentially like the Air Jordan, Nike, or the Gucci, you know, or the Prada brands of comic books. Now, you may be thinking, what the heck is he even talking about? Let me explain something. A lot of people have a misconception that people buy variants specifically because of speculative value or because they're going to be worth money. The same people that tend to have this misconception are usually the ones that say, I don't buy comics to speculate. I buy them to read, or I buy them to collect, or I don't care what their value is. But yet they're very judgmental on those that collect variants because they feel like people that buy variants are simply buying them and they're going to get burnt out on them because they're not going to be worth any money. Isn't that a bit of a conundrum? Let me show you guys something real quick here. This is an Air Jordan shoe. This is the 6 rings. The 6 ring, by the way, it's a little dirty, but this is the Air Jordan. All right? An average pair of Air Jordan these days goes from anywhere from $150 to $200 bucks. All right. This here is an AND1 Shaq brand. All right. So technically, while the Air Jordan brand is not branded by Nike, it's under the Nike umbrella. Shaq has a deal with AND1 to put out Shaq shoes. This is clean. So if I sat and told you that, you know, these are just 2 shoes, right? And you didn't know the price. They're kind of different style. You know, this is more around that classic tennis shoe style. You know, I have a lot of Reebok classics that look almost just like these. This is more that, you know, obviously the basketball, the new age basketball style. The bottom line, though, if I told you about these shoes without knowing the brand or without knowing the price of the shoe, I could probably assume that a lot of you would probably pick this shoe, and a lot of you probably would still pick this shoe. I mean, they're different styles. They look different. This is a high top. This is a low top. They have a different feel. They probably have a different comfort when you put them on on your feet. They're for different reasons too. This is, you know, if you play basketball, you might pick this one over this one. But if you just want a nice shoe, as a tennis shoe, as a casual day-to-day shoe, you might pick this one, right? It's all about preference. But if I brought in the brand and how much I paid for these, you know how much I paid for these? $3. I think they were essentially like $12.99. I think that's kind of like $12.99, $14.99. I got them on sale at Walmart because they're a Walmart shoe. Shaq signed an exclusive deal with Walmart and won because he wanted it a point for his shoes to be affordable. But I got them on sale for like $3. These, well, I already gave you an idea of how much these costed, okay? Why am I showing off shoes and comparing variants to Nikes or shoes or name brand? It's because I'm here to tell all of you that Variant Comics, and I have some right here, Variant Comics aren't just being bought because people think they have value. Variant Comics are being bought to serve a purpose, just like a shoe does, no matter how much it costs. But what's the popular thing with name brands when it comes to clothing, shoes, accessories? That's why I brought up Prada or Gucci, right? People are willing to spend more money because of the name brand. It doesn't mean that they're buying that name brand product because they think it's going to make them rich, or they think that they're going to be able to sell that product later down the line for more money, right? They do it because they want the name brand. So, if I have an exclusive, 1 in 100 variant or something like that, because it has a certain artist or a certain style cover, to me, this book, which is, what is this? It's a Symbiote SWAT variant. I don't even know what book this is. Oh yeah, I do. Symbiote Spider-Man, Alien Reality #1. This is the incentive, Young Guns incentive variant. All right. So I bought this, and this wasn't a ton of money. It was on sale actually when I bought it. But I bought this because for me, cover A was this. And this incentive cover was this, essentially, right? What I'm trying to say is I'm buying the brand. I'm buying the brand. I'm buying the artist. I'm buying what it looks like. All right? Some people specifically go after, again, certain artists. Artgerm. Now, this is kind of a different beast because these, at least when they first come out, they're priced at cover price. So for me, this could be a situation where it's just preference. It's just preference. So maybe there's an incentive variant of this book that's this. But maybe this variant at cover price is this, and I just prefer the style over it, right? Same thing goes with these. Same thing goes with these. I'm big on the Star Wars anniversaries. And that's why I collected all the Star Wars anniversary covers. They're not priced like this. They're priced like these. But I like the style better. So the point that I'm trying to make is the variant market is more diverse than a lot of people think. And when people go after the incentive variants, or the 1 in 100, 1 in 50, whatever it may be, and people are willing to put big money down on these variants. You know, let's look at KRS Comics, right? Unknown Comics, just to name a couple off the top. You know, I ordered just recently a black cat wearing the symbiote, I believe, from KRS. And it was like, what, 20 bucks? I think it was a $20. And then they have the Virgin, you know, that's like twice as much. And I hardly do that. I hardly spend more than cover price on a variant, but I did because I enjoyed the art so much. Sometimes it's a cover swap, you know. Sometimes it's a cover swap of one of my favorite covers, and I'm willing to pay a little more. You know? The name brand. The point that I'm trying to make is this, everyone. Not everyone buys variants specifically because they think it's going to make them money. On the contrary, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, people will buy variants that they know is a limited quantity, $19.99, $24.99, $29.99, $40, $50, simply because they want their hands on one, because of the artist, because of the cover, because of whatever incentive is in it for them, right? And they do this knowing that more likely than not, unless it's a specific book that has other value to it, they do this. They spend this money more likely than not, knowing that a few years from then, by the time they buy it, a few years down the line, it's not going to be worth more money, and it might even be worth less. So I'm going to ask those watching right now, I want to know how many of you buy variants, will buy incentive variants and spend anywhere from $20 to up to maybe $100 on a variant. Whether it's a 1 in 100, 1 in 500, 1 in 50, 1 in 25, or just a KRS or unknown exclusive that just has a nice cover or a Virgin cover that you want. How many of you buy these books and spend that type of money on a variant, knowing that it either might not hold its value or might not gain value at all over time? Let me know in the comments below. And this is my recommendation for those that, you know, want to buy into variants for investment purposes. Because there are those that ask the questions, well, what do you guys feel about this 1 in 100, you know, whatever incentive variant? Is it worth it? Is it worth it sending it to CGC, trying to get that 9.8 and flip in and all this stuff? My take on variants is this. If you're looking to get into variants to come away with the return on your investment, buy variants that are of a book that already has value, intrinsic value, whether it's because it's somebody's first appearance or a story arc, something like that. Or, you know what, Marvel's been good at this. You know, you buy a second print variant that is the first cover appearance of an artist. And yeah, maybe it's not going to be as valuable as the character's first full appearance in the comic book. Hey, cover appearances matter, right? And then you got a situation where maybe a second print or a later printing is the later printing of the character's first appearance, but it also has the first cover, Venom 3, Null. We know that the first printing of Venom 3 is the big dollar book because it was his first full appearance, but then you got that later printing that's technically his first cover appearance, and that book has gained a lot of value as well. But overall, when you're looking at incentive variants, I'll give you an idea of how they hold value. Midtown Comics constantly has blowout sales of incentive variants where they're offering you 50 to 60 to 75% off the original going price of $50, $75, $80, $100 to $200 that they were trying to charge for these incentive variants. And it's crazy. It's crazy because I would never pay that kind of money. And even if they're 60% off and they're still going for like 40 bucks or 30 bucks, I'm still not buying them. But that's just me. The point of the video today, though, is there's a market for variants. Just like there's a market for name brand products that are overpriced. Because look, at the end of the day, both of these shoes, there's not really any difference in quality, so to say. I've had these shoes about the same amount of time, and, they're both in about the same condition. I take care of my shoes. These Walmart shoes aren't just going to fall apart on you. But sometimes, just because you paid $200 for a shoe doesn't mean they aren't going to fall apart on you. Right? I've seen Jordans get worn down just as fast as a cheap Walmart shoe. Or a shoe that you could find at Ross or Marshall's or something like that, right? So you're paying for the name brand, and sometimes people are willing to do that. I've had name brand clothes fall apart on me faster than something that I could get at Target, right? So one brand or the other isn't destroying the hobby or having a negative effect on the hobby. It's tending to a different market base. The people that can sit and afford Jordans, or that can sit and afford Gucci and pay $200 for a belt that's probably going to last just as long as that $20 Levi belt that you could get at Target or Walmart or whatever, they know what they're doing and they know what they're buying. All right? They're not going to be jaded if that $200 belt falls apart quicker than a $20 Levi belt. They're buying the brand. All right? The people that don't want to put out that kind of money for the name brands are the same type of people in the comic book hobby that aren't going to put out that type of money, and they're going to go buy some, Silver Age or Bronze Age books. All right? That's the way that we need to look at this situation moving forward. If you don't collect variants, don't buy variants. But right now, variants are bringing money into the hobby, and it's helping the hobby thrive. It's not the 90s all over again. It's not going to hurt, your Silver Age keys or your books that you own in any way. And it's not going to hurt the quality of the story. It's not that if Marvel isn't putting good stories out there, it's not because they're releasing 40 variants of a book. Believe me, they don't correlate like that. They don't overlap like that. So if it ain't you, don't do it. Let others collect how they want to collect, and you keep collecting how you want to collect, because at the end of the day, all of these different things are bringing in revenue streams into the industry. And when it comes to the variant industry and the variant market has been a huge market now for over a decade, and it keeps on growing, and it hasn't slowed down yet, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. So that is my video for today. I want to know all of your thoughts in the comments below. Again, I'm talking about this, and I'm not even big on variants at all. But I would love to know all of your guys' thoughts below. Again, guys, check out all the awesome links, including how you can become a Patreon member of the channel or a YouTube channel member by clicking that join button. Check out the Journos Comics official merch link below. Of course, check out our comic book canon link below as well, where we have our live shows every Friday night. And again, big shout out to A1 Comics. Wednesdays, Fridays, IG, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Live shows every single week. Thursdays, live on Twitch. And also check out their website, a-1comics.com. All those links are below. Thank you all for watching. Be well. And until next time.